What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/EntitledParents. This story's called, "A Pregnant Teen Shouldn't Be Teaching Kids." This happened late November last year, and basically was the reason I finally decided to rant about my stories with entitled parents. After a while, I kinda blocked the story out of my memory, but remembered it last week because I saw the entitled mother again, but I didn't interact with her. A bit of background info. I'm studying to become a translator, but in my country, you need a certain amount of social service hours in order to graduate, and since my college is an extension of a high school, you have the option to do your social service hours by being a tutor or directing a study group. At the time, I started looking for a part-time job, and thanks to a teacher, a really sweet old lady, I managed to start working as a teacher's assistant. I'm 19. At the time this happened, I was 18, and basically I get told I can easily pass for a 14 or 15-year-old, which turns me into a magnet for misunderstandings. On to the story. This started when my shift officially started. My main job is to be, specifically, the English teacher's assistant, but the school goes from kindergarten to high school, with the kindergartners usually leaving at 11. My shift is from 11:45 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., then 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. So sometimes I try to arrive early to help ease the job of the 4 teachers that have to watch over 15 fussy kids who want to go back home. Also, this is a paid school, so you tend to run into the "I'm paying so my kid deserves the best" type of parents. Here's the cast. Entitled mother, woman who seemed nice but turned out to be a Karen. Nice kid. Her youngest daughter, a nice kid. Nice teen. Her eldest daughter, a nice teen who was embarrassed by this. Cool principal. The school's cool principal and a wise woman, me. The first time I met entitled mother was when she was picking up nice kid. This time, she only said, "Wow, it's nice to see kids like you actually helping adults." It sounds harsh when I write it, but she said it with a sweet tone and a smile, so I didn't really put any thought into it. Plus, nice kid is one of the sweetest girls in the class. She was just reading a book, a Disney princess book, which was mostly pictures, while eating fruit, and always gives a kiss on the cheek to all the teachers when she leaves. Fast forward to after class and the study group. This study group is mostly for teens who are struggling in English. It consists of 10 teens from 14 to 17 years old. In this group, there is Nice Teen. I knew she was Nice Kid's older daughter, since she would always talk about her and their annoying mother. She's still a teen, so I didn't take the comments of her mother seriously. The study group is from 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m., with me as the main teacher, although kids who have good grades can come help tutor others, but they have to be approved by the principal. On the day after the class ended, I was talking to Nice Teen since she was having problems with her boyfriend. She's the oldest in the group, 17 years old, and the closest to my age, so after classes we just talk to each other like friends. The time for picking up kids is until 6 p.m. in the school entrance. Afterwards, for safety reasons, we go back into the classroom we were using, and parents have to come in to take their kids. Now, a little TMI. I was on my period, and usually this means that the second and third day I'm basically dying, extremely bloated, dizzy, nauseous headaches, cramps, and I have passed out before. Yay, being a woman. This was the second day. I was bloated and started to feel nauseous. Nice Teen was telling me that she thought her boyfriend was cheating on her. Spoiler alert, they talked it out. Turns out the girl that Nice Teen thought he was cheating on her with was his cousin. She was visiting from a rural area from the country, and I was telling her about a pregnancy scare I recently had, obviously just a scare since I was on my period. Take in count that I've never been the skinniest person, and I was extremely bloated, and I looked more suspicious with the teacher's uniform that I had to use, which is a wine red color, while the school uniform is a navy polo. The seniors can choose the color, common in our country with many schools. In this case, their uniform was red. You'll understand this in a moment. The entitled mother walks in right when I was making a joke about me being pregnant while holding my stomach. Bad move, but we were just having fun. It was around 6:30 already, but the administration is the one in charge of contacting the parents, and I didn't have anything to do for the rest of the day. Entitled mother didn't say anything about the joke and asked me about Nice Teen's school progress. She had been struggling with the topic, but she had improved a lot. After this, the entitled mother snapped. Entitled mother said to the Nice Teen, So this is the girl that has been giving you relationship advice? Yeah, Mom. She's a nice teacher. Nice teacher. Nice teacher. How can you ask her for advice? She's pregnant and probably with her advice you are too. In this moment, I tried to get a word in, but the entitled mother kept saying that I was a bad influence on her daughter, and how was I allowed in that school? She left after saying this infamous phrase, "A pregnant teen shouldn't be teaching kids." I finally caught on that she must have heard us joking and that I basically looked like Nice Teen's classmate, but I just thought she would leave it at that. I was starting to get very nauseous, so I just sat in one of the desks and waited for the nausea wave to pass, when I heard my name being called to the principal's office. As soon as I walked in, "This is her. She's Nice Teen's pregnant classmate. I can't believe a school this prestigious could have a pregnant teen in here. I can't believe you'll allow pregnant seniors to tutor other kids," I say to entitled mother. "Ma'am, I apologize." "You should be apologizing. My lovely daughter could be pregnant because of you." "Ma'am, I'm not—" "Don't interrupt me," she says to the principal. "Can't you see that she's a bad influence?" "Ma'am, everyone deserves an education, even if a girl is pregnant. This way she'll be able to help her kid instead of dropping out of school. Plus, she—" "Okay, but how can you allow her to be teaching others? She's gonna teach them all her floozy ways." Yes, she called me a floozy. Me finally getting a word in. "Ma'am, I'm not a student here. I'm in my first year of this school's college." "Why are you here then?" "She's doing her social service hours and is working as a teacher's assistant." "How can you allow someone like her to be working here? My Nice Teen could be pregnant because of her." "Ma'am, I'm not pregnant. In fact, I'm on my period." In this moment, the entitled mother paled, simply said, "Excuse me, good afternoon," and left before saying anything else. Me to the principal, "I'm sorry, and I shouldn't have been joking with Nice Teen like that." Cool principal, rubbing her temples. "Don't worry, we have a complaint from her almost every week." We just laughed it off and left a couple of minutes later. From what I learned from Nice Teen later is that her mom took her to a clinic to get a pregnancy test. I didn't see her mom afterwards. Their dad picks them up now. 2020, Nice Teen is going to her senior year. She's still as cool as ever, but her English has improved a lot. Nice Kid is going to first grade and she's still as sweet as ever. I don't understand the entitled mother's way of thinking because, I think it's safe to say that most teen pregnancies are accidental, and I don't think a pregnant teenager is gonna give another teenager advice that would lead the other teenager to get pregnant, and I don't think the other teenager would follow that advice to get pregnant because that's just, I don't know, it doesn't make a lot of sense in a lot of ways. Because, you know, at that age, you've got a lot more to worry about, such as studying and doing well in school in general. Plus, you might not have the financial stability in your teens that you would have in your mid-20s or mid-30s or something. Mid-20s is a bit early to have financial stability for most people, but you get what I mean. This story is called Entitled Teacher Steals My Work Laptop Mid-Exam and Accuses Me of Cheating. It is I, the wonderful Brucey, back again with another story for you all. This story happened very recently and I find it more amusing than anything. So, it's exam season and I'm in the extra care group. This group requires a bit of boosty during an exam. And for me, I require a laptop and alone space. I have a few psychological issues and my hands are incredibly shaky constantly, so I use a laptop for all of my exams rather than handwriting it. I have been since year 9 and I'm currently in year 13. One major issue with me is I can't think straight unless I talk out loud. I can do this in a hushed whisper, but it's why I have to be alone. I'm seated at the back of a large hall with my computer far away from everyone else, so I can freely explain my thoughts to myself while tapping away. Before I get on with the story, I should explain Mr. M. Mr. M is a high-end teacher with 2 students in the school. Neither are important for this story. Mr. M prioritizes those students heavily and puts them in the best classes whenever he could, the classes I was in. They always got the top marks and were always winners in some sort of contest. I, being the quiet-minded kid who focused more on daydreaming and Hulk fantasies, didn't care too much much about these brats. I just kept on keeping on. Well, until today. I was in my history exam, quietly tapping away about Stalinism and how Alexander II screwed everything up by trying to make it more modern. I was also whispering to myself as I did it, telling myself what to write as I typed it. But I felt something. A very sharp tap. I looked up to see Mr. M glaring at me sharply. I didn't understand what I did wrong, so I went back to silently tapping, struggling much more as I'm still very anxious about my thinking issue. Another hard tap. I turn back to him and he hisses some sort of nonsense about me cheating. I remain silent. I would never cheat in an exam, even if I was struggling bad. Why would he accuse me of it now? The silence persisted until he muttered something about having special treatment and his son requiring the laptop. And before I could respond, he had picked it up and begun walking away. Now, all of this was done in a very quick and quiet movement. I couldn't react. I just sat in stunned silence. My work was gone. I had been in this exam for an hour. I wanted to break down and cry. This was all too much for me. It was lucky Mrs. D, the one who was in charge of the exams, quickly noticed my lack of computer. Mrs. D was the one who gave me the computer in the first place, so she knew something was up. She told me to go with her as she took me outside, where I explained everything. The lack of computer, Mr. M accusing me of cheating, being kicked out of the exam hall, everything. She listened contently, then told me to stay there and went off somewhere. From what I got told from a teacher who heard the commotion, being near Mr. M's classroom, Mrs. D had torn him a new one. She berated him for ruining my exam and stealing my property without any knowledge of my conditions. She eventually returned to me with my laptop and my memory drive. Luckily, he hadn't removed it and gave me an extra time slip for 15 minutes. Luckily, I was able to get that exam completed even though it left me a bit shaken up. I haven't seen Mr. M for the rest of the day and noticed his class was taken by sub for this lesson. Maybe some action was taken against him. Thank you for reading, and I love sharing my little entitlement stories with you all. Update! I got information! Oh boy, have I got the story for you. Turns out, he's been confiscating work off others and giving it to his kids to hand in. Mr. M has been removed from the college and is not allowed to teach anywhere in my country's region or regions nearby. His kids have also been expelled due to constant cheating. He's been replaced on the exam board by a very sweet lady who I had watch over me in my media exam. I need an invigilator near me while working due to some of my issues. I'm very happy I have friends in high places, so I know about all this and I can tell you all. And hopefully I'll not see him ever again. Wow, what a freaking scumbag. How are you gonna take a whole ass laptop from a kid to give to your kids? Like, that's a laptop. That's not gonna go like unfreaking noticed. This story's called Entitled Mother Gave My Entire Wedding Cake to Her Kids. First time posting on mobile, teal deer at the bottom. Here's the cast. Entitled Mother, which is her entitled sister-in-law with her kids ages 6 through 14. That's, 8 children? And me, insert clever line here, new hubby. For clarity, at my wedding we had 2 cakes, the pretty little wedding cake, and then sheet cake for everyone else to eat. This is from a couple years back, but will always stick with me. It was our wedding day, nothing fancy, which was perfect, and everything was going smoothly. I looked gorgeous in my dress, new husband looked amazing, perfect weather, etc. We had an outdoor wedding in the afternoon, and after the ceremony we did the cut the cake bit. Everyone cheered, and we invited people to go get started in the food line. Then our photographer pulled us away to get some last pics before the sun started going down. We were gone for maybe 10 minutes, then came back over for the cake. My best friend who works as head pastry chef at a nice restaurant made it for us. A 1-tier red velvet and buttercream dream. We get back and the entire cake is gone. I can't believe it. I look around and see Entitled Mother sitting at a table with her 6 kids, each with giant pieces of cake, and I mean the entire cake split into 7 pieces for her and the kids, and they're all wolfing through it fast. Hey, did you take all the cake? Nice hubby and I haven't even had any yet. Yes, you did. I saw you cut the cake earlier. Well, yes, we cut it, but didn't you notice none was missing? We had to go take a couple more photos before the sun went down, and we didn't even get to try it yet. Look, my kids were hungry, and they're not eating whatever that is. She gestures to the catered food and the sheet cake the restaurant I work for donated as a wedding present that's on the table on the other side of everyone. I'm trying to be patient and not cause a scene at my own wedding. Look, I get that, but you probably should have brought them snacks if you didn't want them eating the food here. Now I don't get to have that memory with nice hubby. Didn't it occur to you to ask when everyone else was getting their food from over there? Whatever, that's not really what this day is all about, and honestly, you should be grateful that we came at all. Do you know how hard it is to get 6 kids out of the door for meaningless little things like this? At this point, nice hubby has overheard what's happening and comes over to jump in. But not only has he heard, so did my family and best friend. If there are 2 people in the world you don't mess with, it's my sister and my best friend. Imagine 2 minuscule, neither is over 5'1", balls of fury that are now flying over. Entitled Mother is now looking horrified as all of them are in her face yelling. She turns absolutely beet red before huffing, "See if I ever come to one of you people's weddings again." You people. Entitled Mother tries to simultaneously grab all 6 kids at the same time to get them to her car fast. My sister grabbed a slice of the sheet cake and threw it at Entitled Mother, hitting her in the back of the head with it as Entitled Mother stomped away. Is it bad that I still kinda giggle thinking of Entitled Mother awkwardly leaning as far forward as she can on the drive home, trying not to let frosting drip down the back of her neck? Anyway, we haven't heard from her again, although I did get a text about a week later from her oldest kid apologizing for her mom's behavior and for eating all my wedding cake. The rest of the wedding was lovely. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.